allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Tonight we have continuing on reviewing the budget proposals. We have an appointment with the trustee of the trust funds. We have a non-public and a few announcements. First of all, the Board of Assessors is looking for a volunteer to fill in the position until the next election. You can either reply on the website or you can contact the town office if you're interested. Also looking for a volunteer to assist in the videotaping of the selectmen's meetings. It's Tuesday nights, 6 until we're over. Learn new skills, meet people, and help the town communicate with and inform residents. Ron Stanley's been doing that for as long as I know, and we could really use some help there. So if there's anybody out there interested in video, we would appreciate your help. Bob?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Oh,
You're on? Appointment of trust, oh, Woody's gonna be, sorry.
Well, shall we do Betty first?
Yes.
Betty has volunteered to fill in our open slot, and I understand, and Carol and I think it's a great idea. And so, because he has financial acumen, is that the right way to say that? And so we'd appreciate it if you would appoint him till the next election
Okay,
and swear him in.
make a motion.
Make a motion to appoint Mr. Hoysker to the trustee of trust funds until the next election.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
How hard was that, huh?
You know the routine, you just gotta go see Jessica, get sworn in, sign the
Who
paper.
swears me in?
Jessica will.
Oh.
We could, but
The town clerk.
she's got all the
Okay.
right paperwork, so. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
volunteering.
Thank you for stepping up, Ben.
You can catch her and get it done right now,
Okay.
or the moderator will do it, he's got a book.
You can do it as well, yeah,
But
right?
she's got the
I
paperwork,
have
so.
to, I have to pay my taxes tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
So, now, do you wanna talk about the budget?
Trustee of the trust funds, that's next.
Sure.
Okay, you know, budget same as last year, except that, apparently the state is now charging for, training of $75 per person, and so we had $75 in our budget, now we made it $225, so that the three of us could conceivably go to training next year. And you can see that our total budget is, I don't know, peanuts.
Have you not been getting your stipend?
Oh, at the end of the year it comes.
Oh. I thought we went on to quarterly, but I guess not.
Wait, you know how much that would be?
I don't know, but when I see only 67 to date and we're already at the end of the year, I'm like, wait a minute, I wanna make sure that,
Yeah, but I thought we went to quarterlies just to keep everything the same, whether it was cemetery
yeah,
trustees, sexton, or you guys, it was just, the check was cut quarterly. I understand why you would say, why can't we wait till the end of the year, cause it's
$25 a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
over
You're gonna
quarterly.
divide that by 4 and
I
then pay
suppose
taxes.
it'd cost us more money to, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, personally, I can only speak for myself, but I just assume waive it if you're gonna do that. You know, it's-
we can just see if there's,
Yeah, I'll check. Roger has a schedule.
Yep, okay.
I'll take a look.
then he usually shows, he pays it by the end of the year.
yeah. Budget committee have any questions?
It's going to be increased. Usually
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
I said it.
You're welcome.
Let's go get you sworn in.
No, you're welcome to stay. You can stay. We'll be done by at least 9.
Thanks.
Can I get that?
Thank you.
Or you can do it
Is,
I will go, I see Carrie on her way in.
Hello.
hello.
Hi.
Hi. We're stuck in a big mud pile outside. I wasn't paying attention where I was going. Might have been looking elsewhere.
So you just gave it to me. I couldn't have lost it. Carrie, before we get into your budget, I just want to make sure, Carlotta, on the FICA and the Medicare, is Roger running those numbers in case there's been any adjustments? I don't know if there has been or not,
Okay.
but he just confirmed all of them. Sure.
We
Right?
can do that, yeah.
I don't have a copy of my budget.
Okay. And right down, Jay.
So Ted, why is the detox?
The
There's no programs
state,
out there helping us.
yeah, well, actually, the state had extra money this year.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they did. They never do, right? So they did, so that helped. And I am, it's not over yet. So I have paid some out now the last month, cause it got cold really quick. But not much. I mean, a few people have needed pellets and, about it, but, so yeah, it was a pretty good year for that, cause we've had some pretty bad years in the past. And, I feel like overall it was, pretty good year for spending, yeah.
You were down on shelter costs.
I was, and that's always been right up there for many years, so. Finally, I think the economy we're seeing the results of it getting better finally.
So people are getting work, is that what
Yeah,
it is?
seeing less people, without jobs, which is good, and if they are without them, they're finding them quicker. So, not very many people on unemployment, that I see. I think I have one case right now, but that's hopefully gonna change.
You do want more for food vouchers.
I do. I don't know, that's not enough for a year. I don't know why I put that last year. I just kind of mix numbers around sometimes depending on the year. I think we were really low last year. It just depends on the year, and then this year I need more, so I think I'd like it, there instead. I'm gonna keep it there. So overall, I feel confident to lower it and see how it goes this year.
What are other services? It says welfare, other services, the last line.
Okay, so prescriptions if we have to pay out, funeral expenses, if we have to pay funeral expenses, that comes out of there. If for some reason, we have to pay for someone's insurance, which we normally try not to, but for some reason, it's just like one of those miscellaneous accounts that's
Mhm.
like if. But mostly prescriptions and funeral expenses and, oh, you know what, another thing that comes out of there is, gas vouchers.
Okay.
Cause I don't use the fuel line for gasoline. I only give gas vouchers rarely, like if someone needs to get to a doctor's appointment or a job interview. We only give them for certain reasons, we don't just
Sure.
give them, so that's actually what comes out of there. I just hadn't wrote one in a while, so I'll run up and all.
I don't know if the budget committee knows, but by law, this is the only budget that they can run over the budget. It doesn't matter, so.
It kinda looks good on paper when it's, less, but we can, like, the could be sitting in front of you next year this time and it could be over. Just depending
Well,
on
it
the
looks
year.
like you're trying to manage it, and,
Yeah,
you can only
so-
do what you gotta do, when they come in, you gotta give it to them.
Right, right, if they qualify, right.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't know how the year's gonna go, but I feel fairly confident because of like the jobs that are okay to do this.
Employment.
Right.
I was gonna suggest dropping the shelter, but when you look into the, previous year, we were even over that, so I'd
Yeah,
probably leave it like you have.
That's what I was looking
Yeah.
at, I'd like to not, like,
Yeah.
yeah, play with that too much, cause I feel like we have in the past, and that's one of the things I really have overspent in that, cause that one can be one of those ones that
Yeah.
really be up there, it's one of the, yes, biggest one, so, kinda like to keep it.
Any questions? Good, Jay?
Thank you.
Welcome, that was easy, thanks guys.
We're not as bad as the repetition.
I know, you
Hey,
guys
she
are-
got-
you guys are great.
Knocked a quarter of her budget off. What can you say to her? Can you try to do better?
Do we have one from the moderator? Oh, here it is. There we go.
Again, I think the stipends are paid out in December, so that's why there's probably no spend on that.
Okay.
So much for quarter.
I certainly didn't get that. But, you know, we've had larger numbers in there for FICA and Medicare, and year over year, we don't seem to be paying it out, so I'm not sure why those numbers can't be reduced.
FICA and Medi's not paid out, deducted off.
It-
Should be.
As far as I know, it
I
should
thought
be.
anyway they got a check, had that reduced.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, why was last year's number a fraction of what's budgeted, so.
Was it paid
Check 'em.
quarterly
You
last
check 'em,
year?
just-
No.
Because if it was paid quarterly, the sums would be so small that FICA and Medicare would negligible.
So that's for both you and Carol, like the FICA or Medicare.
Yeah. Bob, I don't know if it was last year or this year, at one point in time you were talking about, needing to upgrade, or was it just to get a spare machine?
We did a proposal before the selectmen last year, that there was an opportunity to buy a backup machine. I think you decided not to,
Yeah,
so.
cause it wasn't funded, but, so are we good with the one that we currently have?
Yeah, I believe so. We did get service on that, just prior to the last election. We called in, LHS, and they came and, changed the scanner bar in it and, allowed us to complete the testing cycle. prior
Where
to
are
the
we
last
capturing
election.
that cost?
I think that's probably in
Is it under the,
Elections.
supervisor the
yes,
checklist
supervisors?
for the town clerk's portion.
Elections.
But, I mean, we have a maintenance contract, so that's, should be covered under that. Should have been I don't think it should have been an out-of-pocket expense.
Right.
Yeah, when Barbara was here, she talked about the costs to program the machine for the elections, and, there was some sort of other, like, annual costs, I believe.
And we did get a notice from LHS that that was gonna go up late in the cycle, and I gave you that
Yeah.
Carlotta to pass on.
Now, you had made a note on here about the tabletop privacy screens,
Yeah.
10 at $25 each. And if I recall, you had said that that was perhaps something that should go into the selectmen's budget,
Correct.
because it is the selectmen's responsibility to have the polls be in compliance with the laws in terms of, like, there's so many, you need so many per registered voter.
That's correct. And that comes up when we have presidential elections. So, since our first in the nation primary is gonna be in December, January, February of next year, we'll need to purchase in 2019 anything we need to have on hand for that event. And so I think if we had 10 more tabletop screens, that would put us at the right level of.
So we're not there now, Bob, is that?
We are, but we're registering more voters
Okay.
with each election.
Right.
So I think we're up to 3,864.
Mhm.
Several election cycles ago, we were at 3,400.
Well,
And I believe that there's still the potential for 500 or 600 more people in town to register to vote.
people realize you gotta live here 10 years first, right, before you can.
Don't spread that stuff.
Bob, did you notice at the last election, because I don't recall, any point in time where we were even close to filling the booths and the tables?
It's not about whether or not we're close to capacity. We have to have at the presidential election, one booth for every 100 registered voters.
Okay, so how many booths do we have?
So I think we were at about 44.
Okay,
Clearly we have enough capacity, but if we register some more voters, then we might be out of capacity, and some of those screens start to wear out over time as well,
the cardboard or the standing ones?
the cardboard ones. I've understood there's a certain reluctance to replace the standing ones. They are expensive.
They are, yeah. The aluminum ones are much nicer than the old steel ones, so I don't know what the new aluminum ones cost, but.
Well, as far as allocating the monies for it, I have no problem, but I don't think it should go into the Board of Selectmen's budget. Board of Selectmen are responsible for many things in many departments that we wouldn't be really allocating funds, so it should either go into the elections and registrations or supervisors or the moderator somewhere under one of those budgets.
I would think election and registrations if we're gonna pick one,
Yeah.
but just to make sure the funds are there so we can purchase them.
Any other questions from the budget committee for Mr. Romo? You good with it, Jay?
I'm good with Mr. Roman,
Okay.
thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who's presenting?
I will, if you wish. We both will.
Go right ahead.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Rick Donovan, your building inspector. those that don't know me. I submitted my budget this year. Also, Laurie ran some tallies earlier, just to give you an idea. We're at estimate 32,574 in revenues in building permit fees so far to date for this year. To the budget.
Did you keep that to yourself, or was it in this packet?
I
No,
think
I
they kept
didn't
it
print
to
out, it's
themselves.
just all the inspections, you can have it,
Well, you
this
said
one-
that you ran it, it was a,
but, well, it wasn't really backup, I guess, but.
Something I asked her to do earlier, because I like to keep you informed where the revenues are. As we know, the building department should be a user-based thing, it shouldn't be back on the tax. That's why the building, it's important to know what the revenues are in your building department.
What was that total again, Rick?
32,574. Like,
Good job.
which is about average. Last year, I think we were somewhere around the $35,000 area. In my proposal for 2019, I'm asking for a $500 increase in the salary, which would bring it from 10.5 to 11. That's mainly due to increase in a lot of the workload, as much as in code enforcement. This year, we spent a lot of hours in code enforcement with zoning issues and things of that nature. I still do have 2 projects that are ongoing, one in the Pratt Pond area and one on the North Street area, which is still consuming time as far as code enforcement goes, the zoning enforcement goes. Which would increase the FICA in the Medicare a little bit. Training in education, education training. We have, what we do here is, we're members of the New Hampshire Building Officials Association, and there's quarterly trainings for the building official. We split that with the town of Ringe. I'm also a building inspector in the town of Ringe. So we dropped that from 155 to 123, which is 125, which is more in line with the town of New Ipswich, which is half of what, and Ringe pays the other half. And then I represent both towns when we go. And also part of that in the dues and subscriptions, it was 185. I dropped that to, it was 185, it is at 210 now. That represents the $135 that goes to the International Code Council, the membership there. And the other, the balance of that goes to the New Hampshire Building Officials Association. So the town of Ringe spends $75. The town of New Ipswich pays $75. That gets us our membership. And then we split the cost of the training, which is around 245, 250 area. Actually, I got it a better right here.
That's the only one that you all don't have because the dues weren't paid until we just realized that we never received an invoice, so I had to do a little.
well, I got the one that, an invoice that says 245 and 75.
Alright, so this one here is for the International Code Council. This is the outfit where we buy all our codes through. Being a membership gives you some insight, some feedback to networking, if you will, as well as discounts in the codes when you buy the codes as being a member. And then the other organization is the New Hampshire Building Officials. So one is the Code Council, which is where our codes come from, and the other one is in the state of New Hampshire.
All right, my question on this is, if you're saying we total these up and divide by 2?
Total what up? The 245 is the split. The 75 is, is for the town, for New Ipswich, and Ringe pays 25. Then I pay 245 and I split it between the two towns. So the 245 is the split.
And what's the 75?
The 75 is at the actual membership.
And Ringe doesn't have you participating in that?
I pay $75 over
Oh.
there.
Okay,
So 75 goes to the state from Ringe, 75 goes from New Ipswich, and 245 gets split between the two towns.
and what happens with this one?
That one there, it's 135, and that's where we get all our codes from, our networking and all that stuff.
But this is directly to New Ipswich.
That is directly to the International Code Council,
Right, but I mean paid for by New Ipswich.
by New Ipswich, yes. And the same thing for Ringe. I tried to get them to look into it, they won't entertain it. Do it.
All I'm looking at is I can't make the numbers add up. You've got, if I'm understanding this correctly, under subscriptions and fees and dues, 210.
210, which would be the 135
Yep.
and the 75.
And where does the 120?
Two come from the couple lines up, education and training, the 125.
Okay.
See, the 125, yeah, it used to be 155, but the actual cost for the training is 125, well, the 122.50. Make sense? Communication, that's for the cell phone, that's basically a fixed cost. We looked at the bill, which we were paying, and that should be $600 according to my math.
Now, is this I'm noticing, I thought we had made arrangements with you where we were paying your cell phones, but I noticed the bill has the town of New Ipswich, so this is a town of New Ipswich phone?
Yes. Yes.
I think one of the things we need to look at is grouping these phones on a plan. Because when I'm looking at the price that you're paying, I'm saying, it seems like we could get,
Yeah, we don't
Much
ever
better
see
deal.
those bills either.
Yeah, we don't see these, but I said that to Laurie earlier, that I would, whoever
You should
your
be seeing them,
administrator is
yeah.
should look into it, because I just did a deal with US Cellular. I'm the administrator over in Ringe for cell phones, and I got a lot better deal than what you guys are getting.
good, let us know what it is, saves us the legwork.
So how many you got on there?
Hmm?
How many cell phones do we have in the
Well,
town?
he shares this bill with the police chief. So they're each paying 72 something, which is a lot.
But when I see they, you know, and I don't know what they cost, but I see them on TV, 4 lines for $100 and
Yeah.
unlimited data and,
Yeah.
Free phones and all.
yeah.
It's a family thing.
We're one big
We're
family.
We're one big happy
We
family.
used to have one for the
They're
stuff,
on a
but I think
shared
Joanne canceled it. 'cause-
Yeah, so, I don't even know how many phones you have in your pool. It looks like just the two, right?
On
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
yeah, it needs to be revisited, for sure.
I think we used to have 3, we canceled one, and,
Yeah, it looks like to me, it's 7207 a month.
I was looking at, that was like 140 or 150.
That's for both.
144,
14.
14 for both. I think it's worth a venture to call them, look into it. I can tell you, I'm spending, I believe it's 49 unlimited access for everything under the government account in Ringe, so, per line.
And you have US?
Hmm?
You have US Cellular?
US Cellular, yes. As a matter of fact, I just switched from Verizon to US Cellular because I got a better deal through them than Verizon.
Carlotta's gonna look into that.
Well, I can give you his name and number.
General supplies, I don't wanna nitpick, but you only spent 170, but yet you're reiterating last year's line item, less $2.
Yeah, we gotta rebuild some supplies. Ink in your computer alone is pretty expensive, so we'll be chewing that up.
26,
I mean-
8, and 8.
Yeah, I printed out sometimes, like, I probably should be charging some paper and stuff under there.
Yeah, but I don't really think we're gonna go up to $500. Can that work out at 200 since you only spent 173?
I think it'd work out at 250.
Whatever.
250.
I just, when I see it transposed over,
I-
the numbers haven't been spent.
I understand.
Yeah. It'll work?
Yeah, 250 work. I asked Laurie because she kind of basically manages the office, so deals more with the office supply stuff than I do. I just tell her when I need pens, markers, card stock.
And just out of curiosity, a question on this permit thing that you gave out. I can follow along, and how you tally things up, but what happens with all these names that have descriptions with no fee?
We maybe didn't get put in there yet, but it didn't get like.
Oh, if it's on the building department, cause when they submit the building, like a building permit for a house, it goes to him and he determines the fee. And then he gives it back to me, and then
So it just hasn't gone
I
that
just
full
haven't
cycle?
entered it into the computer, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, after I review the permit and it's approved, then she marks it in.
Have you seen an increase in your, building permit, activity, like from last year, this year, or?
It's might be up a little bit, but it's basically average at this point. What we are seeing is more in the zoning enforcement side, the code enforcement side. This land's getting tighter, subdivisions, tighter properties in which to work. So that's where we see an increase in that.
And but there's no revenue on that side?
There is no revenue on zoning enforcement.
Penalties?
Penalties, but that doesn't come into our revenue, that would go into your general fund or wherever it ends up, but.
Well, if I'm interpreting this correctly, excuse me,
Yeah.
it looks like we have 19 new buildings to tax. And it looks like mechanical seems to be your biggest.
Yeah.
Mechanical is, and your accessories will build, especially as the housing market will drop. A lot of people are doing a lot of remodeling. So over the past couple of years, I've seen it in Ringe too, that the accessory permits are taken off, remodeling and things like that.
What about accessory dwelling units? Have we had any of those?
Yeah, we've got
Couple.
half a dozen, maybe.
Are-
They would fall under the accessory. What we could do is, if you want, we could try to break them out as we get into ADUs.
I think just the little description I see here can tell me what it is, so,
Yeah,
yeah. But this is good.
we need to work on forming an accessory permit instead of the whole building permit. We haven't made it that far yet, but.
And what we pick up all the, which is be another point, when you get set with this side of the equation is on some of the the fire safety side of things. We've been doing, as you recall, last time we met, we were keeping everything to do with construction related, I guess you'd call them life safety, that's what I call them.
Yep.
Those inspections under the fire department, under the building department, because I think it's streamlining. I believe that I'm there, I can do the inspection, no need of the homeowner waiting for an appointment for another inspection for somebody to go through there. But I think that in a little way, it's getting a little warped out of content in the way that the fire department also does annual life safety inspections on commercial buildings. If you recall in the conversation last year that we had, that I would assist them and help them get that program up and moving. But it seems that that has turned into that the fire department wants us to do those life safety inspections and tracking and scheduling all of those as well. And my question would be, what does the fire department have, and I don't want to open a can of worms, but reality is reality. It takes a lot more time, it takes a lot of time, and if there's a fire inspector in the fire department and they're getting a stipend for a fire inspector, then who's actually doing why is the building department doing those inspections? And why not the fire department doing those? You know what I'm talking about, the life safety?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but for my recollection, I can go back to my notes. I thought we don't have a fire inspector in the fire department anymore, because I thought we took that stipend over to the building department, and I recall you were gonna be doing it. I don't remember the conversation though about the commercial end. I thought it was strictly on the residential end, because all they were doing was inspecting the boiler.
Right, and that's what I was talking about, because, and I think it still needs to stay that way because, you've got a lot of those, they're incorporated into the building as it's being built. And again, it streamlines, there's no need. But when you're coming to the town office testing your exit signs and your battery packs and things like that, I thought they kept a little bit in there so that they could do it, and Dave Wheel was perhaps doing that.
Not even
And
there.
then Dave Wheel is not there anymore, which ended up becoming that we were doing more of those inspections.
He just resigned this summer.
When he was
Yeah,
there, he
in
was doing,
June.
that's a
And then
certain
He was doing what?
inspections.
No.
Yeah, he was in,
No.
There hasn't been any annual life safety inspections done in a long, many years.
Well, I thought that Gary was doing them for the schools
For the
because
school.
he's there.
Yes.
But as far as, say, commercial businesses and whatnot, I wasn't even aware that we were doing them.
Right.
I guess we should be.
We should be, yeah. And I just think it's a conversation, because there is as we talked 6 months ago, if you recall, Dave, I came with Laurie here because the amount of work that we're doing, the amount of enforcement between zoning and keeping up with the building inspections and stuff like that. She's doing a lot here in the office, which we talked about, hopefully getting her some more time in the office here to help that process along, get the enforcement letters out, the administrative side
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
And taking on the life safety inspections, the commercial life safety inspections, that's gonna take a lot more of my time. It's also gonna increase her, because somebody needs to schedule these, then we need to be doing the follow-up, we need to write the reports.
How many properties are there?
I don't actually have, I don't know. We've asked for an occupancy list from the fire department to know how many businesses do you have? And we really haven't got anything. Instead, I got an email back to Laurie asking, did you do an occupancy list yet? But we don't know what you have of businesses.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I can't think that we have 15 businesses that aren't in-home businesses. Because
Right,
those you
right.
wouldn't be doing.
Right.
But
Well, you got your churches, your schools, and then your commercial properties.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, trying to run down Turnpike Road and some of the offshoots, but I think the biggest one would be Warwick Mills, Vanguard, Hutter, S&S,
Yeah.
Dollar
Dollar
General.
General,
Dollar
B-Fib,
General.
but I mean,
There.
count them, there's not,
Academy thing that opened down here.
Yeah.
The,
you're talking Central School?
Is it Central?
Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Central
right,
School?
the schoolyard.
The schoolyard?
Yeah, the school year.
Okay, when you said academy, I'm like,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
wrong.
that's okay.
Wrong school.
I was just following you down the street, and when you hit academy, you lost me.
Warwick Mills alone would be.
Well, and that's the thing, all right, so we have a number, let's say the number's 15, but if you start off with Warwick, how long are you gonna be there doing that compared to Dollar General, for example?
Exactly. Or in Vanguard even.
But,
But
aren't you allowed to notify them, to have them hire a company to do the inspections and give you the report? I have seen that in a lot of the schools.
we could do that, if that's what you would like to do as far as what the policies are, yeah, it's just be a directive
Yeah.
from the board.
I mean, because many of them have the systems in that they're having them inspected. Well, just follow the reports that we know. And I don't know what else is on that list that you're inspecting for, other than like safety, but if there are items, you know, I believe the state comes and does the inspections on the boilers, the pressure vessels.
The pressure vessels, yes, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Basically, you're doing exit signs, emergency lights, means of egress, making sure that there's no blockage, making sure all the doors are open, free, panic hardware is being taken care of. Making sure that the smaller boilers that doesn't have, you know, steam vessels or anything, making sure that those are being serviced annually. Fire alarm systems are being inspected annually, sprinkler systems being inspected annually.
Do we have any buildings in town with sprinklers, other than the schools?
I really don't know.
I think the mall has sprinklers.
Do it?
So it freezes up there all the time. It's not a problem with the road, so.
Yeah, that's why I can't, I didn't think that it would have
I
had
think
it.
so, we had the flower shop up there years ago.
You'd have to have a cistern somewhere.
Dollar General must have one, right? Is it
No.
cold now?
No,
No,
they don't meet the size requirement.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
I don't think the New West Mall has them either. Now that you mentioned
Yeah.
cistern, I don't,
yeah.
Yeah,
well, they do have it
where's the
as well
solar?
at the front there.
Yeah, and I would
remember
think
seeing one in the
the
salon.
stories I've heard about the attic, it would have frozen by
Did you
now.
look it up?
So,
The next little comment
I haven't
there
seen
might
too
be
many
on-
sprinklers, but you got fire alarms.
yeah, oh, don't get me wrong, I was just being inquisitive, because I didn't think we had many that would have had the full
As a
sprinkler
matter of
system.
fact, with sprinkler, I think, any suppression, the mobile, I know they do, because they had to put one in
Yeah,
on
yeah.
their last renovation.
That's just at the pumps, it's not inside the building. So,
So I think it's worth the conversation with the fire chief and to see where we going with these. Cause if I recall right, and then Dave was going to back us up when I couldn't get over here. Leo left, I don't know, May or June, and in that first 6 months, there was only maybe 3 or 4 inspections that he was able to take care of to back me up when I was on vacation or not able to get over here for any reason. So the reason for asking that question is what's in there for a stipend is because I think in my opinion, and my recommendation would be to approach somebody like Gary Somero and say if there's a stipend in the fire department still for a fire inspector, to talk with him about trying to, you know, back up when I'm on vacation. Next year, I am going to, my daughter, his husband has been stationed in Italy and my wife wants to go for 2 weeks. If I leave for 2 weeks, you're gonna be without an inspector for 2 weeks, so we need to really think about that aspect of things and who can we get to step in. If you have another department that has some mechanism built into it, that'd be the way to do it.
But if you were gone for 2 weeks, we would need to do something with an area building inspector.
Yeah? Or somebody like Gary is in South, or something like that. I think we don't have Dave Wheel anymore, that's what I'm basically saying, is.
Yeah, but he was never a building inspector.
He wasn't a building
Yeah.
inspector either,
Yeah.
so.
So, I just wanted to note that, Lori's salary is not in this budget.
Correct.
And that's something that we'll be talking about
Correct,
at the next
separately.
meeting,
Yep.
separately.
Same thing with your request for an increase.
Mhm.
When John's here, we'll discuss it.
So in the meantime, I had asked Lori to take a look at her job description and see if it was an accurate representation of what she does for this department specifically, but at the same time, the other departments. And so she has something to share with us, and you can all take it home and read it before our
Well,
next meeting.
It's basically just, this was the job description that was, it was updated in May of 2016. So I'm budgeted out of the town office for 20 hours a week. And so that's that. And then I just put together, an updated one as to what I'm actually doing in the office.
There's no pages on this
There's a few more.
one. Double side.
I probably forgot a few things, but it's a start.
I would like to make a comment that she does a phenomenal job as far as I can see for fire, for building and zoning enforcement. But it's just not enough hours in the day.
Laurie, we'll take this and read it, but
Yep.
we're not set to discuss this evening. We'll do that when we do the, board's budget.
Yep.
Any other questions for Mr. Dunnerman? Laurie.
No, I would make a comment. When I was here as an appointed official in the town, Laurie did a lot of things for me that wasn't up in her job description. But if I let Laurie help, she was there.
Yeah, that's what she's supposed to do. Right, Laurie?
I love it. I love helping.
But, I mean, you know,
And she loves it when you're there saying, hey, can you do this? And somebody else is behind you saying, but I need this.
she's really challenged.
And someone else is ringing the bell.
So I just have,
Jessica's at the
can I ask
conference.
one question?
Sure.
Just one question about, and it goes, it's not your budget really related, it's more revenue related. Are our building, when was the last time are our building permit fees in line with other towns?
Yeah,
we
we just did that last year.
You did that?
Yeah, yeah.
They did beat us up pretty good on that.
Was it last year or was that this year?
2017,
17.
Okay.
or it was 2016 or.
And how often do you go
2017.
to do that? Like,
About every 3 years is what I do over in Ringe. Same thing. Every 3 years I sit down and look at them.
I don't remember previous to that. I'm getting confused when we did the dump fees for all the stuff there. That was another one.
That should probably look that into.
But it's it's busy department. I probably talk with Laurie at least 3-4 times a day.
Well, just look on the cell phone bill, 878-2772, and then my cell phone, 345-9108. You can see it right on the cell phone.
You know how many
bill.
people are writing that down now. That's something you don't say when you're on the camera, Laurie.
I forgot without camera.
Maybe walkie-talkies would be.
Yeah, and I know we're in a spike right now, or have been with construction, but
And the other side of it is there's a lot of properties in town on the zoning side that people just don't want people building next to them. And that's, at the end of the day, that is the end result.
Mhm.
But it still causes, it's a phone call to Laurie, phone call to me, research it, look, go back, either write the letter or give them a call back, and it's all, and it is pointed out, I'm sorry, I don't remember which one was, the zoning enforcement has no revenue stream for it. There's nobody paying for this fee or anything else. It's just something we have to do. If we have ordinances, we have to have enforcement. Yeah. But it's a time stealer in most cases.
Everything takes time.
Other than, I remember the one issue at Pratt Pond, but that was really building zoning related.
Mhm.
The one on North Road, I think I know which one you're referring to. But have we had many zoning items, and are there zoning issues that should have a fee associated with them?
A lot of it is, go check this building, was there any permits done? And we've doubled permit fees when we
Yeah.
come across those.
Yeah.
We get a lot of those. Sometimes it's just cosmetic and there isn't really much going on other than painting and scraping and things.
Those I
like that.
consider code
Or even
enforcement.
just
What I'm thinking, I'm more of, hey, this guy's building in the wetlands, this
There's
property
been a few.
hasn't met the setback, those types.
Yeah, I get phone calls like that a lot.
Yeah.
So-and-so has their basketball hoop on the side of the road. Is that legal? Can they have it there? They're telling me they have to take it down. So you get, oh, my neighbor put a sign up and it's right on the edge of the property. Can you put it there? So you do get random phone calls, I guess, that don't really, I don't have to send
Yeah,
him out
yeah,
there, so it
yeah.
doesn't.
Because when you were saying a lot of it's back to zoning enforcement, I'm just trying to think back in history of how many issues we have had.
And complaints too.
Complaints, yeah. Well, it's a lot, it's complaint driven, so it's.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
have fun.
So you're gonna have, again, another meeting where you're talking, with what Laurie's doing in the office and stuff. And it
Well, that
does-
falls
does-
under that's a different budget.
Okay, right, right. Would that be tonight or is that another night?
Not tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to at least come over and support her on that because
Sure.
she does an awful lot for me during the day. Everybody else in town, so.
Very good.
So
Sure.
when? Next week? Oh, next week, is it on the December 4th?
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Tentatively scheduled.
No. Do me a favor. Group them by date.
Okay.
So I'm saying, no, on December 4th, we only have general government buildings.
They're alphabetical.
She uses the alphabet.
Good thing it's only a click of the button.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Good evening.
Does that mean we have to leave?
No, you can stay. We'll be going right into a non-public shortly.
Oh.
So,
Thank you much.
All right, have a good night.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna love something.
Is he not coming in?
Oh, I wanna get back to Ridge before you guys are throwing this back down, trust me.
Yeah, good call.
Lost it.
Just make sure you have an item agenda for reviewing any increases.
Yeah, there's a couple of
We don't
them.
want to be increasing without his input.
Right, oh, absolutely, yeah, no, I agree. The decision of the full board, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have the to-do list?
It's in the folder, you want me to grab it?
Do we need to adjourn
So
the
did you
budget
guys do a
portion of this
poll?
meeting?
Excuse me?
Do we need to adjourn the budget portion of this meeting?
What about the pool?
What about
What's the
the pool?
status on the pool?
we had said when John comes
Yeah,
back,
wait
the
for a
board
full
will
board
put
on the
together
floor.
a
Oh,
full budget,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So you want us out of here?
So is
I'm
that
sad
a
to
younger
leave,
coming
but
in
Excuse
Yeah,
me?
that's a non-public,
or? Oh, it's not.
yeah.
Well, we have any new business, old or new business, if you wanna hang around for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting, she's going to get we've got like a to-do sheet, she keeps a running tab on, I wanna make sure if there's something we can
You're
get
welcome to
addressed before
stay.
he comes.
maybe I'll wait for the movie.
Does the fire department have a record of number of incidents that
Yeah.
handled in the course
do,
of the
yeah.
year?
Yeah.
They publish that
Yeah, it's
in the town report?
Right, vaguely in the town report.
Curious.
When we were asking for them to give us quarterly updates of what's happening and whatnot, we were getting that kind of information. And we get it from the police department,
And highway gives us a report.
but I mean, for incidences.
Oh, it's, I'm sorry.
And I'm saying, to me as a selectman, it really,
Was it valuable?
yeah, you know, okay, so you had so many motor vehicle stops and so many arrests and you're doing your job,
Right,
okay?
yeah.
What I wanted to get from them is if they have problems, how we can help out, or, you know, things, you know, for long-range planning, short-term goals, that type of stuff.
I was thinking in terms of the maintenance budget for the fire department, you know, like the hose testing and all that. I mean, granted, there's standards, but
Yeah,
a big city, a small town, they're not, it's not the same.
and you and I are thinking the same way, and
So how often do you know, do this, that, and the other thing?
well, if you're really interested, you can go online to the NFPA, and it's a little challenging, but you can get in there where they have all of their codes.
Lock and code.
Yeah, and you can go, and their codes are very, I shouldn't say brief, but they probably have like 100 of them. So you're not reading through an entire book to try and find it. You know, if you're looking for equipment apparatus, it may have a title equipment. So just,
The hose maintenance, for example, I mean, I just quickly looked up hoses when I saw it on the table of meeting.
yeah,
They come with as many as 10-year warranty on hoses. We shouldn't be testing them, brand new hoses,
yeah. But I'm,
considering the cost.
I agree with you, but I'm wondering, because one of the things that would have caught my eye, does that warranty from the manufacturer require you to test them on a certain periodic basis? It's like having a maintenance, like, not a maintenance agreement, but like with a car. You know, if you never change the oil and the engine blows up, the manufacturer's gonna say, you know. But when she had said that they'd never tested the hoses ever,
Ever, yeah.
I'm like, well, I think we can get
Yeah.
away with every few years.
That was a good idea.
But it's just the new ones.
Yeah,
Going from one extreme to the other down there, it seems like, I mean.
yeah.
I absolutely agree, we want pieces going out with hose that's gonna not be squirting leaks all over the
Yeah.
place, but I think that there's a happy medium. Doing everything in one night.
Where are we with Temple Road? It says on hold for now.
So we're
Yep,
All
I'm good on
set.
budget.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Work here
Yep.
is done.
That was the one where the gentleman is having the quiet title petition before he does the rehab.
But this has been
Oh,
going
yes,
on
it's
now
a
for
Tuesday,
quite a
isn't
while.
it? We'll do Christmas and New Year's.
So,
Right, so just tell them what needs to be done.
Yeah,
Yeah, till the end of the
can you
year.
put together a letter to
Right.
him, tell him, you know, we have it, and dig out the paperwork for
Yeah.
when what we had given to him
Yeah.
for deadlines. And just tell him the Board of Selectmen wanna see that move forward, or we'll,
Yeah, when you, I mean, by the end of the year, we need something.
yeah. And I think now, if I remember right, he was the one that said he goes away to Florida every year. for the winter. And I'm saying, hey, we gotta do something.
Right, it can't, the deal was made the way it was made because we were assured that it would be an expedited rehab.
okay.
Bridge over Souhegan. culvert GIS inventory, need to decide format of deliverables.
So that was Henry Haywood with Southwest Region Planning Commission, and he had sent the email with the link for us to look at another town's reports and whatnot. And basically what he's saying is, we wanna customize what we give you. We already collected this data, and we're ready to give you something. Do you want, you know, a
He's
spiral?
looking for a format from us? Is that
Yeah,
what he's saying?
like-
I thought I just presumed we were getting a map of the town, whether it was in quadrants or whatever, identifying the location of all the culverts, and they should be coded to say, you know, if it's like number 14, I can look up number 14 on the graph and say, oh,
Right,
it's
that's
a
what I,
24-inch culvert,
sure,
you
that's
know,
Okay.
just,
pretty simple.
Simple stuff.
yes.
Or maybe, yeah, like, I like the idea, of, like you're saying, an overlay even, you just,
And if he could give that to us in a CAD format, so that we can edit that as we do the upgrade.
sure, we have
I'm
to
thinking,
replace.
I don't know whether it'll be CAD or like GIS.
GIS is CAD,
Same,
should
okay.
be, it's all spatial.
Okay. All right, so just tell him, give us,
Or send me the link, 'cause
product.
did I see that link?
that was in that email, last week. And you were having trouble, I think maybe you weren't able to see it on your phone or something. So,
Okay, that would have been, last week was this.
20th. It was that.
Follow up. Please see below.
Probably would have been forwarded from me.
Well, that's what it's under, and when I open up that, trail of emails on
Yeah.
that subject, I've got yours with 2 attachments.
And it was in the body of the text, and I think it said Roxbury, or Richmond, or it was one of the R towns. That was a hyperlink to a Dropbox.
Do me a favor, if you could just email that to me again.
Sure.
Take a look at it and just say,
Yeah.
yeah, it works or
Okay.
doesn't. Health insurance renewal, if we could put that on next week's agenda.
Yep.
The interview with Aaron Goss, if we could get that scheduled.
Okay.
I'm assuming by next week we should have his background check back.
Maybe.
Can you follow up with Peter where R&D is with the paving?
Yeah, okay.
Did you advertise the pool director?
No. I did go online looking, you said you thought there was a pool directors association or something.
No, what I was referring to is the state has a division that comes and inspects pools
Right.
for
and
compliance, and I
found
didn't know if
that.
they had.
It was NHDES.
Okay, yeah.
And I was looking at information and I couldn't find anything that was sort of specific to, pool director, job
Mhm.
description type thing. But, I'm thinking I might ask Lori to help me, cause maybe.
I'll get you one.
Yeah?
Okay, yep.
Okay.
My daughter was the pool director there.
Oh.
Have her draft one.
Okay, great.
She has nothing else to do.
Well, she knows the job, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe between
Yeah.
her and, Brianna, right? Was that
Yeah.
the last one?
Brianna.
Brianna, yeah, should help.
I thought the leak at the pool got fixed.
Did it?
Yeah, Peter told me they did it.
He and Mark?
Oh, they fixed the leak too? They not only cut the concrete, they fixed the leak. Good for them, I wasn't aware of that.
Cause I guess he couldn't get out there, so.
Come on
Yeah.
in.
Wanna make a motion to go into
Sure.
public?
I'll
Hi,
make a
Mark.
motion
I'm
to
Carlotta.
go into a non-public.
Hi. Yeah.
Let's see.
We're just gonna break down the video equipment.
Sure.
And then we'll have our conversation.
Yep.
Okay.